Hello. Hi, guys. Yulia will be on momentarily. Yulia just surfaces right away. Hi, Grumpy. Why did you have to ruin Crazy Cat's experience by telling her that you were here for a while? So incredibly inconsiderate of you, Grumpy. Mm-mm-mm. Hi, guys. So I'm on late. I'm taking all the opportunities to do late lives. Uh, to do late lives before I start my 4 p.m. Eastern lives next week on Monday. And today I want to share with you a story from my dreams because, I had a very interesting morning today. So I don't know if I've told you before, I'm sure I did, but I have like incredibly vivid dreams. So if my dreams are good, they're super vivid and that's fun. If my dreams are nightmares, they're also incredibly vivid and that's really not fun. Um, Hi Sam. Hi Notabotter. Hi Gap. Hi Grumpy. Hi Sherry. Hi Hjalmar. What is it? Hjalmar? I want to pronounce people's names right. Carolyn, Prexis, Armin, Beef Ninja, and Crazy Cat. Also, hi Natabot. Hello everybody on TikTok. Hi Aloha. Hi Grumpy. Hi Cat. But so yeah, hi Drake. So yeah, basically, the thing that tends to happen to me is that when I have nightmares, they're super vivid and they're also very realistic. So I don't really know that I'm dreaming. But when I have good dreams, they're normally like vivid, but like not incredibly realistic. And I usually will know that I'm dreaming. And like if a dream is good, I just choose to kind of stay in it. If it's not, I can like wake myself up. But when I'm having nightmares, it's different. It's super vivid. It's really realistic. I don't know that I'm dreaming and it's incredibly intense. I usually wake up and I'm so like, so today I had a nightmare that I lost Cinny. And I slept in for a very, very long time because I refused to wake up until I find my dog. Hi, Benji. So I was having a nightmare I was having a dream basically that swiftly turned into a nightmare that I was like on a vacation with my mom and Anastasia, and that it was like some sort of a random country that kind of looked like a mix of like Monaco and Luxembourg or something like a small, like a small city country sort of. And we were like returning a rental car or something like that, and there was a like a not a dog park but sort of like hi Tyrannus, uh hi Jack, hi Tom. I'm okay. I'm basically just retelling my nightmare to you guys because that's what I'm doing before the news today. And so there was like kind of like this multi-leveled sort of like it was like an open space for dogs to run around, and it was on a hill, so there were like multiple levels to it. And I let Cindy go run around, and then I turn around and she's not there. And so basically the rest of this dream, it was like me and my mom and Anastasia running around this country trying to find my dog. And we put up these brochures with like, dog missing, here's the phone number, please call us, like we're here for a couple of days and like this is really important to us. And people would like consistently call, and they would bring me dogs that look just like Cinny, and they would try to like convince me that it is Cinny, but it wasn't. And so this entire dream was just such a like intense nightmare. And I know it sounds so stupid, but it's like, you guys know how much I love my dog. And so like it was a very big deal for me, and it was incredibly upsetting, and I couldn't find Cinny. And every time they brought me a dog that looked like Cinny and tried to convince me that it's Cinny, I knew it wasn't. But like everybody around me was like, no, but it's your dog. And I was like, no, it's not. And so yeah. So it was like it was a lot. No, I mean, see, Kat says can't want. Kat says can't wait to find out where she was hiding in your dream. So I didn't find her. At some point, I woke up and it was like super late in the day. In the day, like I woke up in the PM today, not in the AM, and basically like I woke up and Cindy usually sleeps in my feet, so I immediately went to like find her by like rattling my feet, and I didn't like, and she wasn't there. And so I like had an awake panic attack. And then I like turn around and she's sleeping right next to me instead of like being in my feet. And I was like, Cindy, oh my God. And I like went and gave her so many treats and just so much attention and so much, and so much like, so many treats, so much attention, so much love, because I was like, I will never let you go. So yes, that was my day today. Hopefully your day was better and you did not dream that you lost your dog, because I certainly did, and that was really not fun. Hi Kathleen, hi Kayla, hi Taz, and Hjalmar. Okay, cool. You said it was Swedish? I think you said it was Swedish. It is Swedish. Cool. And also, Tom, I will message you about Meest. I figured, well, with the help of someone else who's sending things through Meest, I figured out how to do it. So I will send you an instruction after the live shortly. Hi, Jedediah. So yeah, so basically that was my morning today. I hope everybody else had a much better morning, because that was horrifying and I did not enjoy that. How are you guys today? How was your Saturday? Also, I think for a lot of you, it's almost Sunday morning. So how are you doing? And yes, Todd says big boom. Yeah, there are lots of big booms today, and we're going to be discussing that shortly. I just wanted to say hellos and sort of like, talk to you a little bit about all of these awful things that happened to me in the parallel reality. Have you figured out Pop Tamer for my silly head? Yes, basically. Why did I get banned? Sorry, one second. There's so many questions coming from both sides. First of all, for anybody who's new, hi, my name is Yulia. I was born and raised in Lviv, Ukraine. I moved here 12 years ago when I was 16 years old, which effectively I'm 28 now, and I've been living in New York for the past 12 years. My immediate family, which includes my mom, my dad, my grandparents, and my aunt, which are the people that I talk to daily, they all live in Ukraine. And I'm the only one out of my family who's here on this channel every day. We do the news in and pertaining to Ukraine for the past 24 hours. We dissect them, digest them, give them context, both historical, geopolitical, political, and otherwise. And we discuss things, I answer questions, and I try to basically give you a better idea of the kind of nuance of this invasion. So this stream is happening on 4 different platforms at the same time. Those platforms are TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and for now, Twitter. Now, my handle is the same across all of the platforms. My handle is the same across all these platforms, except on TikTok right now, my handle is not Yulia. It's Yulia, because I'm on my backup account, because my lives are banned until tomorrow, 4 p.m., because trolls love me. So yeah, so if you're on TikTok and you want to switch to any one of the platforms I've mentioned, all you have to do is take out "it's" from my handle and search me that way. If you want to switch to TikTok from whichever platform you're at now, just look up the same name you see, because that's where I'm going to be doing lives again starting tomorrow. So yeah, so why was I banned? Because I wasn't really banned. My lives were just temporarily suspended because trolley lollies love me. Also, my gosh, I need hand cream. And Taz, yes, I think I figured it out. So basically there, I think I figured it out. But I need to make sure. I've been very out of it for the past 2 days, so I read up on it, and I think it makes sense, and I think I know what I need to do, but I might be wrong. But I will ask you, could you please whisper to me so I could whisper to you back and get you to redeem that thing, because I'm definitely gonna forget, not because I don't care, but because I am very bad at what is it? I'm very bad at, remembering things lately, and I'm very, very sorry. I also think that I just got like slightly sick because, I find it really hard to breathe and I have a runny nose, and New York. But yeah. So please do remind me. I'm sorry that I'm asking you to remind me while I should be the one reminding you. But yeah. So basically, let's talk about today's thumbnail. Today's thumbnail says next stop Melitopol. So there have been multiple explosions in Melitopol on Russian strategic objects such as like ammo depots and bases and stuff like that. And Melitopol, let me remind you, is a city is a city that has been occupied since very early in this invasion. It has been shelled almost daily. There is, I want to say, very little left of the city. Um, there is very little left of the city. A lot of the people who were living in Melitopol, they were kind of traveling to their families and to their friends' houses outside of Melitopol during the night in order to kind of like, in order to sort of survive the night. And Melitopol is a very, 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 very strategically important is a very strategically important place. So the armed forces of Ukraine have said today that they are nearing the town and they are ready to start taking it back. And that was confirmed by the amount of explosions and the amount of sorry, I just read a message from Taz that said that he got his mug, in the mail today, and the mug is from Patreon. There is Patreon merch, and it gets randomly sent. So sorry, one sec. I'm so bad with technology. Oh my god, I'm just doing fantastic. I'm doing a-okay today. One second, sorry. I unplugged my camera. I accidentally unplugged like everything from my computer, and it basically it did what it did. Let me there we go. Okay, this should be good sound again, and better whatever. But yeah, don't worry guys, if you're on this side of the game, that side of the game on TikTok also got a little bada boom from me because I accidentally knocked my phone over, so it wasn't just you. But yeah, but so basically Taz got a Julia, seems you're a little bit all over the place today. Am I? Am I really? What made you think so? Yeah, I am a little all over the place today. I feel like a little, I've been feeling a little sick. And so also as I said, I woke up with like horrible dreams today. So I am in fact a little all over the place, but I will try to do better. Oh, Kayla, you were the one with the mug. Oh my gosh, you and Taz have literally almost the same profile pictures. Okay, so Kayla got her mug. That's awesome. Okay, well, either one of you getting your mug is awesome. But the mug is from Patreon subscriptions, and Patreon kind of lives its own life. It sends merch. It sends merch like whenever it pleases, basically, because for Patreon subscriptions, there is like a merch benefit. And it's mugs or sweatshirts. It highly depends on like which level basically of subscription you're on. And yeah, so I'm very glad that you got yours, and I'm happy that you got to drink your coffee from it, and I'm happy that you seem to like it. But yeah, back to Melitopol. Basically, there have been lots of explosions on Russian strategic objects and bases in Melitopol, and I will show you some videos of what that looks like, because it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful and big bada boom. Beautiful and beautiful and big bada booms, I would say. So also I wanted to show you this. I saw it the other day, but because I wasn't because it came out after I did the news, I didn't get to show it to you. But this is a crater from an explosion. Oh, thank you, Todd. This is a crater from the explosion. And it's like, it's very interesting because aesthetically it's such a beautiful image, right? But it's also so freaking horrifying because you know that this actually really happened. And this is in Ukraine, and this is reality. And it's not just some beautiful, photoshopped kind of abstraction. It's a crater from a missile. And this photo is called "The Aesthetics of War," which I think is so incredibly like fitting, because that's what I was just saying. It's oddly very beautiful, but also incredibly horrifying. Okay. Also, I do want to show you a beautiful place in Crimea, and the place is called Uchansu Waterfall, and it's the highest waterfall in Ukraine. It's located at an altitude of 390 meters above sea level on the northern slope of Mount Aipetri, 6 kilometers north of Yalta, which is one of the biggest cities in Crimea. The height of the waterfall is 98.5 meters. The name translated from the Crimean Tatar language means flying water, so Uchansu. And this is what the waterfall looks like. Oh, ooh, Putin's face right after that. not what I was going for, but I don't know. You guys must have seen this. This is from yesterday, but because it came out after we have done the news, I wonder if you want me to play it. So it's basically Putin's speech in which he admits that that they're specifically targeting Ukraine's civilian infrastructure, specifically targeting civilian infrastructure. And I wonder if you guys want to see it. And it's him basically appearing slightly like buzzed with a champagne glass, and he's talking about how, yeah, we did this, but who started this with the strikes on the Crimea bridge? Okay, Taz says quick mood change from waterfalls to that face. I know, right? But I will show you this video, and then we can discuss it. And I guess, you know what, we're gonna do the news in order. So we're gonna talk about Melitopol, and I'm gonna show you all the videos full screen and large format as we get to them. But yes, there are lots of explosions in Melitopol. They're big, and as Grumpy likes to say, it's big bada boom. And they are all done by the armed forces of Ukraine in an effort to soon take back Melitopol, which is, as I said before, an incredibly important strategic location. Video file. And for now, enjoy Mr. Poo-Poo.
Бредни, информационное противостояние, информационные вбросы, всякие фейки должны остаться в стороне. Не должны мешать нам выполнять свой долг перед нашими людьми. Да и не надо быть особенно искушенным в этом информационном противоборстве, чтобы понимать, что происходит на самом деле. Вот сейчас много шума по поводу наших ударов по энергетической инфраструктуре соседней страны. Да, мы делаем это. Но кто начал? Кто ударил по мосту, по Крымскому? Кто подорвал линии электропередач с атомной электростанции Курска? Кто не подает воду в Донецк? Неподача воды в миллионный город – это акт геноцида. Никто, нигде словом об этом не обмолвился. Вообще. Молчок полный. Стоит нам только пошевелиться, что-то сделать в ответ. Шум, гам, треск на всю Вселенную. Это не будет нам мешать выполнять боевые задачи.
So I do want to comment on this. I want to comment on this profusely because he basically said that, them hitting civilian infrastructure is a response to the attack on Crimea Bridge. First of all, they have been targeting civilian infrastructure from day one, and they have quite literally leveled Mariupol with the ground. So that's a lame excuse. Not that we expected anything else from Putin other than a lame excuse, but this is a way and this is way more and this is way more sorry. Bear with me today. In the past couple of days I've been a little off. But basically, this is a way lamer excuse than even we could expect because again, this is just deflection. Second thing that he said is that Ukraine is not supplying water to Donbass, and that's an act of genocide to Donetsk, actually, and that's an act of genocide because Donetsk is a city of millions, right, or of million, and that's actually kind of a funny statement in that regard because. Well, first of all, Donetsk has been occupied by Russia for 8 years, almost 9 now, and you still haven't managed to figure out water in there. And also, since you say that it is a Russian territory, by what means is Ukraine supposed to provide water to what you say is a Russian territory? So, to Putin's words, I mean, obviously they're always aiming to deflect and to fill misinformation space. And he said that nobody's talking about it. There's not even like a noise about the fact that Ukraine isn't supplying water to Donetsk. But that's the whole point. It's like, if you say this is a Russian territory, that it's your responsibility to supply water to the Russian territory, right? Second of all, it's been 8 years that Ukraine has no access to Donetsk because it's occupied by you. So realistically, it's not on us to supply water to there. It's the same as like he was trying to use the excuse of Ukraine like not supplying water to Crimea or something. And it's like, well, if you occupy it and you ruin all of your relationships with Ukraine politically and economically, then clearly we're not inclined to help you in any way. Also, the people who live there now are people that you have moved from various territories of Russia to there, that took over our people's apartments, that torture and belittle our people. So why on earth would we be inclined to give you water or give you or help you in any way? So that's one. That's two. And the third thing is he said that not supplying water to Donetsk is an act of genocide. Funny he says that, because what really is an act of genocide is leveling the city to the ground and killing about 200,000 of its civilians. That's a genocide. You not figuring out how to supply water to a city of 1 million people is an act of genocide on your behalf. And Ukraine is not responsible for fixing your problems for you, right? So if you took over a territory and you think it is now a Russian territory, then it's on you to figure out how to supply water there, especially if you're going to move half of Russia's population from like middle of nowhere to live in that territory. Like, we don't have responsibilities in front of Russian people. We have responsibilities for Ukrainian people and to Ukrainian people and people who want to be Ukraine, right? We don't have any responsibility to Russians who have been relocated to these areas. We have no responsibility in front of Russia. So yeah, so I did want to comment on that video because it was just ridiculous. And it's funny because he says, every time we do something to respond to Ukraine's aggression, the whole world is yelling about it. Anytime Ukraine doesn't supply water to Donbass, no one speaks about it. And it's like, dude, I mean, I understand that this speech is meant for Uh, and like, I understand that this speech is meant for your internal audience, for like the Russians who think that, you know, Ukrainians are Nazis and whatnot, not really for the world. But at the same time, like, I just don't understand how these things, even with like a heavy level of brainwashing, manage to fly in Russia. It makes no logical sense. It makes no critical, like, it just surprises me every single day what kind of things he can say and what Russians just eat up. Because, like, genuinely, it makes no logical sense when you destroy half a country and then you say that it's a genocide to not supply water to a place that you claim is not even a part of that country, which would make it not our responsibility. So, yeah. Also, Drake was asking if I have a PO box on Drake on YouTube. Sorry, was asking if I have a PO box. I do have a PO box. I'm in the middle of transitioning from that different PO box, but I can't do it until the end of the month, unfortunately. So I can because that PO box consistently, just like my previous PO box, consistently keeps losing my packages and stuff like that. It's also not necessarily super conveniently located to where I live. And I am going to figure it out today. I'm probably just going to pay for a different one, to be honest, and just not, not wait for this month to end. So I'm going to switch up the address in the next couple of days. So if you'd like to look it up, then I would say look for it on Monday, if that's okay, because I would like to take the weekend to figure it out, if that's fine. I would say you can send it to the PO box that is currently there. That's currently there, but I just don't want you to do that because I've had to like search for 3 packages with them that they said were never delivered and then somehow showed up 3 months later. So it's just really strange. Okay, the Times says that the US is no longer insisting that the Ukrainian Armed Forces not strike Russian territory as it is less afraid of escalation from Moscow. I wonder why. I wonder why the US is less afraid of escalation from Moscow. Might that be because there is so much stuff on fire in Russia to begin with, and it does look like, and Ukraine has just pulled off a drone attack on 2 airfields, and, Russia didn't escalate. Also, it's funny to me, I've said this a million times, but I think it's so incredibly hypocritical and so incredibly wrong. Hi, Nick. Oh my gosh, hi. It's so incredibly wrong of the US to say, oh, strikes on Russian territory from Ukraine are escalation of the war. Meanwhile, Russia ruined half of our country and we are lacking like 30%. Well, it usually varies between 18 and 30, depending on how many strikes in which we're talking about, but we're lacking 30% of critical civilian infrastructure, right, for energy sector. Oh my gosh. Oh, Nazar, thank you so much. Those are so cool. I thought that I've seen those before, but I actually didn't. Those are so cool. Thank you so much. Sorry, on TikTok. So on YouTube, there are super chats and super stickers and super questions or whatever, and like little things like that. While on TikTok, there are GIFs and they're animated and they're these like really pretty animations. And this one was bumper cars, and it was like really cool because there was a flag that was waved first, and then it was like 2 bumper cars, like, competing, and that was like the coolest thing ever. So yeah, thank you. all of the gifts and all of the super chats and super things are incredibly appreciated, although not expected. So just FYI. But yeah, so it's incredibly hypocritical to me when the US says that, Ukraine is escalating the war by striking Russian, like within Russia. Meanwhile, we are defending ourselves from strikes in our country daily, and we never strike targets in Russia that are civilian or unrelated. We destroy ammo depots that are responsible for destroying a big percentage of our country and killing a large percentage of our civilians. So yeah, so it's just incredible to me that countries even dare to say that Ukraine would be escalating. That countries dare to say that Ukrainians are escalating by attacking strategic targets within Russia. Okay, Russian troops massively attacked southern Ukraine with Iranian drones at night. Air defense forces shot down 10 out of 15 drones over Kherson, Mykolaiv, and Odessa regions. also, there was something very, very interesting that happened. So, Arman Shurayev, a public figure and professional journalist from Kazakhstan, replied to the arrogant threats of Russian ambassador in Kazakhstan, Borodavkin. So, Borodavkin was basically saying that Kazakhstan is the next target, and Kazakhstan has the same Nazi issue as Ukraine, and obviously it's the next obvious target for Russia that needs to be denazified and needs to be like put in place and whatnot, and so Kazakhstan had a response to that. Well, rather, a Kazakh public figure and a very respected journalist had a response to that. I mean, Kazakh authorities had a response to that earlier too, where they basically said, like, don't even try to sneeze at Kazakhstan. We are gonna destroy you. But I do want to play you this video because I think that the way, the demeanor, the like sort of the words that he chooses is just like everything about this response is so applaud worthy, because it's kind of like I don't know if you know what a gopnik is, but gopnik is like sort of an Eastern European version of a chav, right? And they live by these things that are called understandings or понятия, and they kind of like talk in this very kind of like down to earth dude who grew up in this like dangerous neighborhood kind of style. And so this guy was responding 10 out of 15 drones, Taz. And this guy is responding to these threats in the most like gopnik but elegant fashion ever. And I will break it down for you. I'll explain what I mean, but it's a masterpiece. So I just want to show it to you. I love everything about this speech, and I love everything about this response. And I will break down to you why, like some cultural moments of why it's better than you can
Друзья,
imagine.
сегодня мне мое безупречное знание русского языка позволит дать отповедь этому идиоту, послу Российской Федерации в Казахстане, некто Бородавкину. Заявил о том, что в Казахстане живут нацисты, националисты. Если надо будет, то мы там проведем специальную военную операцию. Слушай, проводилка у тебя сломалась, Бородавкин, и у твоего патрона Путина. Вы уже 9-й месяц получаете звездюлей от доблестных украинцев. И я могу сказать, не дай бог, вы еще решите зайти к нам за легкой победой. Легкой победы у вас не будет. Вся казахстанская степь будет усыпана трупами ваших мобиков. Так вот, я могу сказать, когда ты говоришь о русофобии в Казахстане, то я хочу сказать, что в первую очередь эту русофобию сеете вы, такие как ты, Бородавкин, такие как эти Никоновы, Федоровы и всякие Соловьевы и Медведевы, которые чуть ли не каждый день с вашего пропагандона заявляют о том, что город Алмату нужно разбомбить атомной бомбой, что нужно захватить северные и восточные области Казахстана и присоединить к России, что нужно запретить казахский язык в Казахстане. Русофобия – это все, чего вы добились своими дебильными действиями. Вы что, думаете, что это украинцы просто так начали стрелять в вас? Это вы ворвались в чужой дом с огнем и мечом. И теперь получаете ответку. И то же самое будет, если вы зайдете к нам, если вы зайдете к нашим соседям. Вы идиоты, вы людоеды, которые поедаете, и самоеды, которые съедаете сами себя. Я очень радуюсь, я надеюсь, что эта ваша гнилая федерация распадется в ближайшем будущем. Бородавкин, если ты хочешь увидеть нацистов и фашистов в Казахстане, посмотри в зеркало, и ты увидишь самого главного фашиста и нациста. Слава Украине, Алга, Казахстан.
So first of all, the lacking cultural context here, when he was saying your ability to perform special military operations in Kazakhstan is broken, he didn't say it in like the proper Russian. There is like this pretty like yo term to when like basically let me think of how to explain this. So there is this word in Russian. It's called быковать. Быковать is basically like when you are coming up to someone and you're like, yo, what are you doing? Like, so what? Like, it's kind of like this manner of speech, right? And so usually usually when you're like, when someone says something to you and you're like, oh, like I'm gonna break your leg, right? And so and so instead of saying like, instead of responding like, oh, you can't break my leg, right? um you can break you can't break my leg, you will be like, yeah, you're like you will like turn this word into a noun, like you'll turn the word breaking and you'll turn it into a noun, and it's like, oh, your like your brokenness is broken, right? But it's kind of like a slang term, and it's usually used by like lower class gopniks, like really it's usually used by like alcoholics and stuff like that. It's like a term of like, like what's up, like kind of like this this kind of way of like speaking. And so this guy was like threatening this this like this guy, or rather this journalist, was threatening this like ambassador of Russia to Kazakhstan in this absolutely gopnik language in the beginning, and he was like, this is the language you understand, so this is the language I'm gonna use, and I love it. He was just like, he's not even trying to speak to him in like, in like a high intellectual level, he's just like, okay, well, I'm gonna get down to yours. And this entire speech was just, it was just perfect. It was so straightforward. It did not omit anything. It did not, it wasn't ambiguous. It wasn't vague. It wasn't sort of like beating around the bush. He was just like, listen, you try to come in here, you're screwed. Like, you think you want to find Nazis in Kazakhstan? Look in the mirror. You're talking about Russophobia? You are creating this Russophobia. Like, you think Ukrainians just started like doing this? You're stupid. It was the best thing I have ever heard, and I just like want to give this man a hug because he is so incredibly amazing. Like your mom, know your mom, I guess. Yes, that's a good way. That's a good way to explain it. Also, oh my gosh, I have to. Gap just commented this on this speech by saying, I think I'm too old to use these terms, but he's a based gigachad. I think all of us are too old to use these terms. I feel like unless you're 16, you shouldn't be saying this, but it fits here so well. But yeah, basically, it's just, Kazakhstan also has been so incredible in their response to Russia and in their support to Ukraine. And Arman Shurayev, like, you are, fangirl. You have gained a new fangirl, and that is me. I absolutely, sir, you are fantastic. Okay, British intelligence expects Iran to increase military support for Russian troops in the coming months. Hundreds of missiles are involved, says British intelligence. It is noted that Russia is likely to have spent a significant part of its stockpile of Iskander missiles, which carry a 500-kilogram warhead at a distance of up to 500 kilometers. And if it succeeds in putting a large number of Iranian missiles into operation, it is likely to use them to continue and expand its campaign of strikes on Ukraine's critical infrastructure. I mean, we knew that Russia is going to try and buy more weapons from Iran, right? Like, they don't have any other options. Main news of the night. Our troops are a few kilometers away from Kreminna, according to Serhiy Haidai. Air Force shot down 10 of 15 enemy kamikaze drones over Kherson, Mykolaiv, and Odessa regions on Saturday night. Britain's permanent representative to the UN said that Russia convened a meeting of the Security Council to discuss arms supplies to Ukraine, but at the same time, it receives weapons from Iran and looks for them in other countries. All the lives are sniffing today. Yeah, it's been like, it's the season, 'tis the season of being sick. And due to the night attack of drones, all of Odessa is without electricity today. Several power facilities in the region were destroyed at night. Only the critical infrastructure of the city was healed, DTEK noted. So yeah, Odessa is left without power after drone strikes during the night. And Russia just continues, their like vicious attacks on Ukrainian civil infrastructure. And as they said, they're trying to break the spirit of the people. But the thing is, like, I don't know what kind of person would be sitting there knowing that Russia is hitting them and being like, oh, yeah, I wish Ukraine conceded territory. No, of course not. We're sitting there and we're like, oh my gosh, we hate you. And, our anger becomes so much stronger and our will to fight becomes so much stronger too. Oh, hi, Pauline. Good to see you. This one is interesting. British artist Banksy is going to sell 50 of his paintings to raise money to help Ukraine. The funds will be raised together with the Legacy of War Foundation. According to the head of the foundation, Giles Dooley, the funds raised will be used to purchase new ambulances and auxiliary vehicles needed to continue evacuating people in Donbass. Generators, gas heaters, and solar-powered lanterns will also be sent to Ukrainian communities. But basically that is a great idea. I saw that there were a couple of people that were Ukrainian people that were criticizing Banksy for his art and saying that this is not what Ukraine needs in terms of support, and that artists have so much power and so much ability to people with so much influence as Banksy have so much power and ability to help Ukraine in more meaningful ways, and they choose to do this. And now I think that actually this selling 50 of his paintings and donating money to Ukraine is a significant way to help. And I think that he was criticized earlier than, it was like people were jumping to conclusions earlier. Also, to everybody who thinks I have COVID, who's like writing in the comments, I don't. I actually did a test, but I have this every year, literally every year about this time when it gets really cold. My room doesn't have like the best insulation, so it's pretty cold here, and I sleep in cold, and but I like it that way because I like anyways, it's, every year around this time when it gets colder, I start sniffling. So it's normal for me. But so someone was asking, someone just came in, and I think it's like a mini raid on Twitch. Thank you, Stephanie. It's so funny. So there is a bot on Twitch, and they first came in and said, why should I care about Ukraine? I don't know. If you don't care about a genocide being unleashed right in front of you, then it says more about you than it says about me. And then they came in and immediately asked me if I work for Mossad. I don't, this is a new one. That's a new one. I thought I worked for the CIA. I thought I worked for the FBI. I thought I worked for the MI6. Today, apparently, I've been hired by Mossad. So yeah, just so many different secret agencies that apparently want to hire me. I'm in such demand, except none of them pay me. So that's upsetting. So if any of you have connections to the CIA, MI6, or Mossad, please let them know that I do want my freaking check at this point, because with the amount of times that I pass for their agent, I might as well just be hired at this point. Anyways, so the head of Mykolaiv Regional State Administration, Vitaly Kim, said in an interview with Radio Svoboda that the building of the local state administration, which was hit by a Russian missile, will be demolished. Unfortunately, there is an expert opinion that it cannot be restored. The regional council will decide on its write-off and write-off of the property that was lost there. I think this will lead to demolition and new construction, Kim said. So you most likely will remember this building. It's in Mykolaiv, and there was a missile that went through it in the beginning of the full-scale invasion. And they were targeting Vitaly Kim because he's like very charming. A lot of people really like him, and he was like one of the regional heads that I guess Russia really didn't like. First of all, let me address something. So first of all, this person over here says, you are very cute. Why are you wasting your time caring about this conflict? I'm sorry. How is cute and caring about a conflict mutually correlated? Like, what does that have to do with each other? First of all, second of all, I'm Ukrainian, buddy. It's not a conflict. It's a war zone in which my parents live. It's a war zone that is my country, and that is a war zone that is my homeland. Second of all, I care about things in the world because I'm a good person. Oh, okay. You should spend your time building a family. You should spend your time getting kicked out of here. And you should spend your time being less of a misogynist. And also, you should maybe spend your time not wanting to tell me what I should be doing because, 1920s are a long way away. And women don't care what random misogynist pigs have to say to them online anymore. Yeah? Are we good here? Did we understand? Also, I don't want a family. Imagine, don't want me pregnant, don't want children, and it's not up to you to decide. And I'm not a baby birthing mechanism. Not a baby birthing, not a baby birthing platform. So why don't you go and try to build a family? I understand it might be hard because, with your personality, it's probably hard to find a woman who would want to be married to you, but why don't you go and spend time doing that since it looks like it's going to take a while? You might as well want to start now. Anyways, let me go get a tissue because my nose is killing me. And when did I get out of rehab? I didn't, and I will come for you. Don't you worry. Anyways, I will be back in 1 second. And to all the people who think that like all of these pseudo-derogatory things to say to me are going to somehow influence me in any other way than making fun of you, good luck with that. I don't know. It's obvious that these people are new here, but commenting in my appearance, commenting in the fact that I look crazy, commenting in the fact that, I don't know, I should have children, commenting in the fact that I'm a woman really doesn't faze me other than it just gives me material to, to have a little fun with your misogynistic ass. Anyways, thank you for providing me comedy material. All right. In Moscow in the morning, the Pushkin Museum of Fine Arts was on fire. So yesterday there was a shopping mall that was on fire. And today it's the Pushkin Museum of Fine Art. The European Commission mobilized emergency reserves to send 40 generators to Ukraine, the press service of the European Commission said. Azerbaijan also handed over humanitarian aid to Ukraine consisting of 45 power transformers and 50 generators, Azerbaijani Foreign Ministry reports. Here is Bakhmut from a bird's eye view. So Bakhmut is a city in Donetsk region that is completely destroyed now too. And it is, well, it's not even becoming anymore. It has become the second Mariupol. It's really, it's really, hi, Heather. Thank you. It's really upsetting. And it's, it's funny that Russians say they care about Donbass so much because it seems like, most of the cities that they have really leveled with the ground are in Donbass, in Donetsk region, actually. So Mariupol is Donetsk region and Bakhmut is Donetsk region. Thank you, Stephanie. Also, let me remind you, for anybody who's new, hi, my name is Yulia. I was born and raised in Ukraine, and I have moved to, oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, there is another troll here, but Hi, my name is Yulia. I was born and raised in Lviv, Ukraine. My family lives there today, my immediate family, so people I'm in touch with every day, including my parents. I have been living in New York for the past 12 years, and that's where I am now. On this channel, every day we do the news about Ukraine for the past 24 hours, and we dissect it, digest it, and give it context, both historical, geopolitical, political, and current events. And we basically provide I basically try to give you the nuance to this invasion and explain to you why we are where we are, and explain to you things that might not be as easily understandable to someone who is not from Eastern Europe. And this stream right now is happening on 4 different platforms at the same time. It's TikTok, Twitch, Twitter for now, and YouTube. And if you don't follow me on YouTube, please consider following me there, because not only are all of my streams saved there and you can come back to them and you can, take pieces and bits and send it to friends, family, whoever is asking you questions, but also I have twice a week, I post brief news updates in under 20 minutes for everything that happened during that week so far and in the past 24 hours. And also there are a couple of new segments coming to YouTube soon, as well as there are interviews with Ukrainian defenders that are fully dubbed with English voiceover for your convenience. So it's not just subtitles, you can watch them on the go. My handle across all of my social media is the same, except right now on TikTok, I'm on my backup account because trolls love me and my live is suspended till tomorrow. And so if you want to find me on YouTube and you're looking and you are trying to find me there coming from TikTok today, then all you have to do is take out "it's" from my username and look me up that way. So my username on YouTube is Yulia without the "it's," and everywhere else the username is Yulia, and it's the same everywhere else. Also, if you followed me on this account, then I am going to let you know that starting tomorrow, I'm going to be doing lives on my main account again, which is basically the same as this, but without "it's" as well. So if you want to continue seeing my lives, you are welcome to follow me there. Also, all of your gifts and all of your super chats and super thanks and super whatever are incredibly appreciated, although not expected, because, appreciated because, well, it does go a very long way. On YouTube now, you can join the channel by subscribing. It's $9.99 a month, I believe, and for now it's the only available tier. But I am going to be making a lower tier and a higher tier too, just in case. And there is going to be a bunch of behind the scenes content starting with Monday, as well as starting Monday, we're going to be doing lives daily, except for Wednesdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And news briefs are going to be Wednesdays and Sundays, and time is TBD. I need to figure out what the most realistic time that me and John can edit those is. So there's that. So thank you very, very much. I really incredibly appreciate all of you, and let's get back into it. Okay, Hungary's reforms are not enough to unfreeze billions of EU euros, European Commission reports. So here's the thing. Hungary basically is not getting, I think it's 18 billion that they were going to get in support from the European Union, and they froze it because Hungary was supposed to implement reforms by the end of November that were pre-agreed upon in July, and they were not able to do so. They implemented some reforms, but the European Commission deemed them to be not enough. And therefore, Hungary is not getting their money. And also, it does look like because of that, Hungary is... and also because of that, Hungary is likely blocking all the aid to Ukraine. Yuli, from what solar system are you from? I don't know. I think we're on the same planet, aren't we? Unless you support Russia, then we're really, really, really in way different solar systems and in way different systems in general. Also, thank you so much, Stephanie. I really appreciate the heart. So here is what Russians are saying on their propaganda TV that we all love so much. So I am going to download it, and I am going to show it to you full screen because it is with subtitles, and I would like you to be able to read them rather than me having to retell to you what is going on. Also, thank you so much, Malcolm. Really, really, really appreciate it. I will show you this video, and then we can discuss Troll trasher. Yes. So give me 1 second. Also, to anyone who was like commenting, don't pay attention to trolls. I love paying attention to trolls. I appreciate the fact that you guys care and the fact that you guys like want me to feel better and stuff like that. But honestly, trolls don't bother me. I know that a lot of people are new to this channel, and you see, you know, like a girl, and you're like, oh my gosh, no, please don't listen to the trolls. They're not worth it. Oh, they're so worth it. They give me so much fun. They don't bother me, but in the slightest. You know, I love trolls. I eat trolls for breakfast.
Удара по нашим базам дальней и стратегической авиации.
Выводы сделаны?
Значит, надо иметь в виду вот что. Выводы, конечно, сделаны, я в этом не сомневаюсь. Система противовоздушной обороны усилена вокруг этих баз, но решить ключевую задачу воссоздание глубоко эшелонированной системы ПВО по всей территории страны в такие сроки сделать невозможно. Понятно совершенно.
So Russians are basically admitting that their air defense system is not enough. It's a segment from the news where they were talking about how, you know, they've reinforced their air defense systems around the air bases that were recently attacked by Ukraine. But however, this is like a band-aid and it's a temporary solution, but they're unable in such a short period of time and in general to recreate their existing air defense on the whole perimeter of the country because, well, it's just impossible. And also they're not really strong in air defense. And I don't think that they have enough air defense capabilities to surpass Ukraine's modern technology that it now has in order to be able to attack deep into Russia. So let me remind you, if you haven't watched my Wednesday news briefly, that's available on YouTube, which if you don't follow, please follow. It's just Yulia without it. Basically, in Wednesday news briefly, I explained to you that Ukrainian officials have given an interview to the Times, and they have said that to Financial Times, and they have said that basically, Ukraine now has no limitations on strikes within Russia because these drones can reach as far as Siberia, and they are incredibly hard for air defense to spot and take down. And we know this on our own example. And so there is really no limitation on how far Ukrainian strikes can reach now when it comes to the territory of Russia. And the reason why they gave Siberia as an example is because Siberia is pretty deep in there. It's pretty far away in Russia. A young collaborator. Oh, also, I actually do want to bring this point. So Daddy Hutch says here, Putin always assumed they would be attacking. Why bother with defense? So here's the thing. You know, this is actually a very good statement on explaining why this entire argument of NATO attack on Russia is what made Russia attack Ukraine is absolute BS and garbage. So let me put it this way. So Russia, this great army in the world, right, was expecting NATO to attack them this whole time, and they did not work on their air defense systems in the country. Of course, they weren't expecting any attacks. That's why their air defense systems are not in place. That's why they were not mobilized. That's why they were not reinforced. Russia is not reinforced with air defense at all, anywhere but Belgorod. And so that's the whole point. If they were expecting an attack from NATO, they would reinforce their entire country with air defense systems, but they didn't. Why? Because they weren't expecting any attacks from anyone. They were just attacking. And also, the reason why they didn't reinforce their country is because they never expected that Ukraine would be able to strike into Russia. So, I mean, obviously, the whole NATO argument is BS to begin with, but I just want to give you another argument that you can give to trolls or to anybody who's ignorant enough to believe that Russia attacked Ukraine because of NATO. A young collaborator from Kupiansk who participated in propaganda plots knocking down Ukrainian symbols from buildings fled to Belgorod after the liberation of the city and then was drafted into the occupier's army and then died near Bakhmut. That's what I call karma, everybody. So this is him. This is Ilya, the young collaborator who betrayed Ukraine. Then he moved to Belgorod. He was taking down Ukrainian symbols, and now he is no longer with us because he was drafted into the Russian army and died near Bakhmut. Ukrainian troops fire artillery at Russian positions near Donetsk on December 4th. This is what it looked like. So Ukrainian troops were making significant progress on December 4th already. Russian occupiers shelled a maternity hospital in Kherson. There were no casualties and wounded, but the building was severely damaged. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna entertain this troll over here because they don't know what the heck they're talking about. You're not right. When the Soviet Union was dismantled, promises of non-expansion were made by NATO to Russia. No, they were not. First of all, Gorbachev, who was the leader at the time, denied that any such promises were made. Then Yeltsin also denied that any such promises were made, and he was in power right after. So no, actually, it was not. It's not true. No non-expansion of NATO pact was ever made, and actually, people who were present at that meeting from NATO deny this, and then the person from Russia who was present at that meeting denies it too. So what? Anyways, it's very funny when Russian propaganda is quite literally dismantled by the man himself who was at that meeting. Not everyone who disagrees with the war is a troll. That's pretty childish. Yeah, and is it not childish to continue using rebuffed statements that have been rebuffed by the people present at these conventions to begin with? And is it not childish to continue parroting Russian rhetoric without even doing as little as basic research? Oh yeah, mods are not needed if a host is knowledgeable and smart. Right, sure, because, I care what you think. Mods are needed because of trolls that, do damage and do damage not because I'm not smart or not knowledgeable, which I don't need to prove to you, nor do I want to. If you don't like it here, you can leave. I'm not going to miss you. It's fine. But anyways, the Nobel Peace Prize awarding ceremony took place in Oslo. This year's laureates are the founders of the Belarusian Human Rights Center, Vyasna, Ales Bialyatsky, the Russian Human Rights Organization Memorial, and the Ukrainian Center for Civil Liberties. The award was received at this ceremony by the head of the Center for Civil Liberties, Alexandra Matveychuk, the representative of Memorial, Yan Rachinsky, and as well as the wife of political prisoner Ales Bialyatsky, Natalia Pinchuk. Matveychuk spoke about Russia's crimes against Ukraine and called on the world to punish Putin and Lukashenko. Rachinsky said that state borders cannot and should not divide civil society, and Pinchuk quoted Bialyatsky's statements about civil liberties and dictatorship. The Office of the President of Ukraine criticized the awarding of the Nobel Peace Prize to representatives of Russia and Belarus. Advisor to the head of the OP, Mikhailo Podolyak, noted that the prize was awarded to representatives of the countries that are attacking Ukraine, and their human rights organizations failed to organize movements against the war. And that's actually really true. A Ukrainian journalist received an award for the freedom of free press, and she received it along lines of a Russian journalist, and she actually said that she doesn't care for this award and she's not going to take it because what's this award worth if it's being given to a Russian journalist who is actually well known for having been a Russian propagandist? Then when the war started and he realized that there is nothing more really for him to do in Russia, he fled, wrote a memoir, and made a ton of money on it and continues spewing Russian propaganda. And before this, he worked on Radio Moskva and was spewing Russian propaganda for decades. So giving him an award for independent and free speech and journalism is not even hypocritical. It's just disgusting. And her refusing this award is the best that one could do, because she said, well, what's this award worth if you're giving it to Russian propaganda along me? Like, I don't want it. President's office says 2 people were killed, 8 wounded in Kherson during the day as a result of shelling by Russians. During the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine, the police recorded about 47,000 war crimes committed by the occupier. And this is one of the pictures that was used to illustrate that. And I really wanted you to see it because it's a bride standing in her fully ruined house in a white dress. And she's standing without her groom, so I can only imagine what happened to her groom. And I really hope that he's alive and well, but provided that she's standing there alone, I don't know. Germany will give Ukraine 36.5 thousand woolen blankets, which they first wanted to sell at the auction, Welt am Sonntag reported. The blankets were intended for the German military. However, due to the lack of need, they will be transferred to the armed forces of Ukraine. The SBU conducted searches in the territory of the Kharkiv Diocese of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, Moscow Patriarchy. Kremlin propaganda, large amounts of cash, and Russian rations were found there. One monk was found to have a Russian passport. Here's what that looks like. Georgievsky ribbons. Lots of cash. For those of you unaware, Russian Patriarchy actually has nothing to do with the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. It's basically a Russian Orthodox Church that took over the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, and basically they use it as one of their main propaganda machines, because, as you know, it's really easy to influence people with religion. And what Russian Orthodox Church preaches is a concept called the Russian world, where they justify the genocide against Ukrainians, where they say Ukraine is not a country, Ukrainian is not a language, and that everybody who has ever spoken Russian has to adhere to these notions of the Russian world, and if they don't, they have to be dealt with properly and accordingly, which is what Russia is doing to Ukraine, and so they justify all of it. Scholz does not believe that Putin is ready for concessions in Ukraine. Every time I talk to Putin, he speaks very clearly. It is about conquering something. He just wants to seize a part of Ukrainian territory by force. I'm glad that finally, these politicians in the world are seeing it. I'm glad that 9 months into this invasion, they're finally getting it, that it's really not about anything but seizing territory and just proving like his control. Bakhmut on December 9th. The Council of the European Union has approved 18 billion aid package for Ukraine for the next year. Now the European Parliament must approve the aid. Explosions in the temporarily occupied Melitopol and Sevastopol. The armed forces of Ukraine are near. Ukrainian art and culture shine even in the absence of light. The Ministry of Culture and Information Policy shared photos from concerts and rehearsals at the National Philharmonic of Ukraine. So these are rehearsals and concerts while there is absolutely no light in Ukraine. Oh. We are managing either way. Azerbaijan has sent Ukraine 45 power transformers and 50 generators. What is known about the evening explosions in the temporarily occupied territories? Tokmak and district, point hit on positions. Melitopol, point hit on Russian positions, plus in the recreation center where the Galateers were. Sevastopol, explosions near the airport. Simferopol, air defense work. Jankoy, point hit on the positions of the Russians. To be continued. More videos from Melitopol.
Вот это да. Это гостиница? То гостиница. Вот это да.
Oh.
Вот это да.
EU Council adopts decision on 18 billion package for Ukraine despite Hungary's veto. The loan guarantees if Hungary uphold its veto will not be covered by the EU budget as originally planned, but will be assumed by individual EU countries. This means that a unanimous decision of all EU countries was not necessary. Import substitution of New Balance in Russia is successful. This is how much they need to have their swastikas everywhere. Okay. Okay, so this is a speech by Margarita Simonyan on Russian propaganda TV, Russia 1. And it's basically a warning. What's going on? It's basically a warning for Germany. So I'm going to play it for you. Just give me 1 second. I will send it to myself. Oh, sin. Okay, 1 sec. My dog really... Excuse you? Did you just yell at me? Did you just yell at me? Is that what you did? Hello? Did you just yell at me and dog? Hi. Hi, dog. Did you just yell at me and dog? 1 second, guys. Hello? Oh my god. Okay, yes. Yes, okay, come here, come. Sin. Jesus Christ. Okay, Cindy. Sin. Come here. Dude, do you guys see this? Cindy, come here. Senya, come here. Oh my god. Okay, well, if you don't want me to pick you up, what do you want me to do? Okay, well, Sin. Oh my god. Cinny, but so I will play you. Hi. Hello. Yes, she is still in heat. Hello. Okay, I'm going to play you this video. My dog is very funny, thank you. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to try to attend
Германия. Как порадовали. Своим каким-то заговором. Был он или не был. Я даже не знаю, что лучше, был он или не был.
Ну, это все выглядит как какой-то такой бульварный роман.
Да. Что для нас... Они радовали все эти дни. Значит, у них сначала заговор. Потом Шольц заявляет, что Украина вправе наносить удары не только по своей территории. Так мы тоже. Мы тоже вправе наносить удары не только по своей территории. И если мы решим наносить удары всерьез, вот эти самые страшные, наш президент сказал, что не решим, ну вдруг у нас не останется другого выбора, но мы точно не будем их наносить по Киево-Печорской лавре. А в каком из немецких городов есть наши святыни, которые нам жалко? Напомни, я так вот не знаю.
So let me remind you what she was talking about is that earlier there was people were arrested in Germany for an attempted coup. And that's what she was talking about. And then she was saying, well, Germany later, so they have all of these issues. First, they had this coup. And then, then Scholz said that Ukraine has a full right to not only strike on the territory of Ukraine, but also on the territory of Russia. And she's basically telling Germany that, well, we're not going to strike on Kyiv because first of all, in order for you to understand this speech, you have to have watched her other speech, which is in my Sunday news briefly, I believe, where she was saying that, that Russia would never strike and do a nuclear strike on Kyiv because Kyiv-Pечorska Lavra is a Russian sanctuary and they would never do that. But there are no Russian sanctuaries in Berlin. So she's basically threatening Berlin by saying that Russia can strike outside of its own territory too and strike at Berlin, which, first of all, lady, you have been striking outside of your own territory. Ukraine is not your own territory. Second of all, if you strike Berlin, you strike NATO and you're done, and you know that. So these threats are empty. Hi, can I help you? Lady. A lady. The news are not done. Hello. I'm sorry, we're taking a second for me to pet my dog because clearly she really needs it. Babes, are we done now? No? Babes? Babes? Yeah, Cindy really likes to interrupt news sometimes. She looks so sad. No, she always looks sad. She always looks like I don't love her. She always looks like I don't pay attention to her. And she always looks like I don't feed her. She always looks like all of these things. Okay, Sinunya, give me a second. Give me a second, baby. Give me a second. I know that you want attention 24/7, and we're gonna go on a very long walkie when I'm done with the news. We're gonna do it soon, but you gotta be respectful of the fact that I still have the news to finish, okay, baby? I have news to finish, okay? Okay. Zelensky says there is a difficult situation in the Odessa region. As of now, more than 1.5 million people are without electricity. After a night strike by Iranian drones, Odessa and other cities and villages in the region are in the dark. Only critical infrastructure is connected, and as far as electricity supply is possible. Oh my gosh. So there was a helmet found of a deceased Russian soldier. Thank you, Rainbow. And it says on the helmet, warning, this is a toy. Helmet is not providing any kind of protection, especially not providing ballistic protection. Standard serial number. Sin. So basically, Russian soldiers are now sent to war with helmets that say it's a toy inside of the helmet. Cindy? Bobs. Hello, Bobs. Hello, Bobs. Hello, Bobs. Bobs. What's up? What's up, Bobs? What's up, Bobs? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm Ginger. Bubs? Do you want... okay, let me pick you up. Let me pick you up. Let me pick you up. You're gonna do the news with me. Oh! No? Dude. Okay. Well, here. What's up? Cindy. Where do I read all this news? Oh, hi, 300 Live. Good to see you. What a cute dog. What's his name? So it's a she. It's a lady, and her name is Sini, which means blue in Ukrainian. And she's from Mykolaiv, and she's an adorable little creature. And she really wants attention. She really likes attention, and normally she likes to interrupt my news streams to get some attention. So that's what's happening now. And I was gonna read the summary. I'm gonna read a quick summary of the news for today. Also, for someone who was asking where I read these news from, I actually use a couple of news sources, and during the day, I also read news in Ukrainian, and so then I basically sift through this based on what I know was confirmed and what was not confirmed, and what was talked about and what was not talked about, right? And I add some things because I read a ton of different news sources. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here. You can do it. Come here. Come on. Come here. Sin. Doggo. Come on. Dog. Come on. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna pet her while I do the news summary, because if I don't, she's gonna continue like... Ви англійську не викладаєте? Ні, не викладаю. Добрий день, добрий вечір, добрий ранок. Okay. Education minister says Russian missile attacks have damaged or destroyed over 390 educational facilities since September 1st. General Staff says Ukraine repels Russian attacks near 13 settlements in the east. Air Force says Ukraine downs 10 kamikaze drones overnight on December 10th. Governor says Russian forces injure 4 civilians in Donetsk Oblast on December 9th. Governor also says Russian shelling injures 4 people in Nikopol, Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. Russia's overnight drone attacks on Odessa Oblast leaves most consumers without power and creates a very, very difficult situation for Odessa infrastructure. UK Defense Ministry says Iran's support for Russian military is likely to grow in the coming months. Iran is currently one of Russia's top military backers worldwide, the UK Defense Ministry said on December oh my gosh, sorry. The UK Defense Ministry said on December 10th. Russia is attempting to obtain more weapons from Iran, including hundreds of ballistic missiles, the ministry said in its intelligence briefing. In return, Russia is highly likely offering Iran an unprecedented level of military and technical support that is transforming their defense relationship. Update: Russian missile strike on Sumy Oblast damaged 20 houses. Governor says intense Russian shelling of Kherson Oblast kills 2 and wounds 8. Thank you so much, Brain Buzz. Oh, hi, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Also, hi, Mikey. Good to see you too. Law enforcement allege Moscow church deacon is spreading pro-Russian propaganda. The Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, said on December 10th that it has exposed a deacon, a lower-ranked church official, during a raid at one of Zaporizhia's churches that belonged to the controversial Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate, controlled by the Russian Orthodox Church. Germany refuses to give Patriot air defense to Ukraine, says they are a part of NATO defense. German top foreign affairs official Tobias Lindner said on December 10th that Germany didn't have free access to US-made Patriot systems and couldn't transfer them to Ukraine. The Patriot systems we send are part of NATO's collective defense system, Lindner said, which is funny because the US just said that they have no issue with Germany sending those systems to Ukraine. Hello. Babes, one sec. Police record 47,000 Russian war crimes committed in Ukraine since February 24th. Russia shells maternity hospital in Kherson. Lithuania's president says Belarusian offer to transport Ukrainian grain is a trap. It's a trap. Let's not fall for it, Gaitanas Nausėda said. Thank you, Mark. Germany to provide Ukraine with 470 power generators. General Staff of Ukraine says Ukraine hits Russian base in Zaporizhia Oblast, injuring 150 Russian soldiers. EU Council adopts 18 billion euro assistance for Ukraine despite blockage by Hungary. Mayor says explosions reported in Russian-occupied Melitopol. More than 1.5 million people without power in Odessa Oblast following latest Russia strike. Russia shells Sumy Oblast border communities again. And that is all I have for you for today. Now, normally we have discussion time, but today, come here. But today I have a child that really wants my attention. Hello. Hello. And the child is being way more attention-seeking than normal. So I might need to go give her a walkie. Oh my gosh. So yes, this is Cindy, for all of you who were asking. She is my little gremlin that's very, very adorable and also very, very, very naughty. Does a lot of really bad things very often. But, you know, I love her very much. And this is the gremlin that I had a dream about losing, a nightmare tonight. And this is what we started our newscast from. So I will see you guys with the news briefly on YouTube tomorrow. If you don't follow me on YouTube, please consider following me. My YouTube is the same as my handle everywhere except TikTok. This is my backup account, so my YouTube handle is the same as here without its. And thank you so very much. I really appreciate all of you, and I really appreciate you caring and being interested in the news about Ukraine. Right? I'm going to go walk this creature. Thank you so much, DJ Funk. You know, every time you follow me on YouTube, Sydney gets a scratch. For every YouTube follow, Sydney is going to get a scratch. And for every 10 YouTube follows, Sydney is going to get a treat. How about that? Sydney, show them how cute you are. Show them how cute you are. Show them how cute you are. Bye, guys. Bye.